Comedy news is exploding, and you have to hear what's happening. We finally have details on Joe Rogan's return to major streaming platforms. Shane Gillis gets a strange response from Rogan about hanging out too much. And Dos Osos is the newest comedy drink. I guess you have to say it that way. And Matt McCusker is an impressive professional musician, and there's no one talking about this stuff, so we have it here for you. First things first, Shane Gillis shared this awkward moment with Joe Rogan.
But like, bro, I need you.
You came here once.
I need you, though.
Yeah, you need help.
I need someone to go, you have to do it.
Right.
When you tell me if you're like, I can't make it today, I'm waking up looking at my phone going,
I really like working out with you
God.
guys, but I also really like working out by myself.
Going nuts, yeah.
It's just, for me, it's like, it's a good time where there's nothing going on, just me doing the routine.
You've been working out?
Yeah, of course.
You motherfucker.
What are you talking about? I always work out. I'm not going to ever stop.
You've been saying
out.
I can't work out today,
No,
and you're working out?
I couldn't do certain things.
Yeah.
I hurt my back for a little bit. Oh. It wasn't bad, though. It was a muscle pull. It wasn't anything to do with the spine. I was doing this new exercise, and it was doing it a little too heavy. And I tweaked something. But it was like a couple weeks later. It was fine. Damn. Now it's full.
I am ready to get back, though. I need it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay.
All right.
No one is really talking about this, but I picked up on it right away. Rogan brings up working out to Shane, and Shane asks him how he's been working out because he basically never responds to Shane or tells him that he can't work out. But Rogan explains to him that he has a home gym, and the conversation awkwardly ends from there. From what I can tell, Shane and the boys are asking too much to work out with Rogan, and he's just kind of blowing them off. It seems like Rogan is getting annoyed with Shane for bringing it up, but it's just awkward. Because a few months ago, Shane and Matt moved to Austin, and Rogan has been helping them get them involved and get them set up. So he was probably like, hey, let's get the boys, let's get a sweat on. And then they probably asked about it every single day, and now Rogan's just probably over it. We've all had those friends that come to expect that fun thing that you did that one time, and you wish you had your privacy back now because you invited them that one time and you never want to see them again, basically. If I was Rogan, I'd want to see comics and the boys at the comedy club and at podcasts, but not at the gym. That's just too much. No shade to Shane because he's the real dog, but I just found it funny because he's all about being with the boys and not being alone. He always talks about how he hates being alone. And it's so much to where he has to be with Rogan in order to work out. And Rogan is his motivation to work out. He's said it in the past. Shane, if you're watching, you can do it, man. Get to the gym and find yourself, doggy. So Bert and Tom just announced their new vodka. If you didn't already know this is a callback to their once popular and still running podcast called Two Bears, One Cave. And to me, it's just another cash grab. It's just like Tiger Thick, Brendan Schaub's Japanese whiskey. It's just another set of celebrities partnering with a distillery and putting their name on it. Similar to the famous George Foreman grill. It's just a marketing tactic that gives them a percentage and makes them look good. It looks really good on their resume. They said they had been working on it for years, which always makes it sound like it's a daily thing. It's something that they're doing every single day, and it's like something that they're working really hard at, but it's just kind of hard to believe. Best of luck to them. It'd be cool to see some behind the scenes to let people know that it's just not a sticker on a bottle, but it's an actual brand that they've been working hard at. I would really like to see that. Joe Rogan finally spoke out about his new Spotify contract in detail. In an Instagram post, he wrote, "The podcast is now officially back on Apple. We should be back on YouTube with full episodes in the coming weeks. Shout out to Spotify for absolutely being the coolest and smartest people I've ever had the pleasure of being in partnership with. I'm very excited the podcast will now have a much broader distribution." This was a great decision by the Rogan team. I've seen other comment tubers going after him, saying it was a bad idea, talking about how it was a bad contract. But when the money isn't actually an issue for you, I'm sure that your biggest concern is how many people hear you. It's all about how big the platform is. And to be back on platforms that are way bigger than Spotify is probably very exciting and liberating. I remember being frustrated having to set up a Spotify just to listen to Joe Rogan episodes. The app works great, but I'd rather listen to it on YouTube with all the other podcasts I follow and keep up with my watch history that way. I love that Rogan and team did this. I'm wondering if this coming election cycle has anything to do with the wider distribution. I haven't heard anyone say that, but I'm sure that it has something to do with it. Ultimately, you can say whatever you want about the Rogan deal, but I think it was super smart and it makes Rogan so much bigger. I'm not trying to be a Rogan fanboy, but if there weren't people like Rogan, we wouldn't have podcast communities and channels like this. So Thanks, Rogan. So this is probably my favorite of the entire subjects that we talked about today. I thought it was really interesting. I thought it was really cool to see. So Matt McCusker has shown off in the first 2 months of 2024. He has shown that he has impressive musical skills. The first and most recent thing I want to talk about is when Matt and Shane were on Daddy Rogan's podcast, Joe and Shane were pushing him to sing the entire time. Matt was talking about how he lost his voice on the drive over there. He said it was because he was belting out songs in his car and he basically ruins his voice. I feel like everyone does this at some point and it usually sounds bad, but when Joe Rogan and Shane pushed Matt to sing the song he was talking about, Matt gives in and sings a little bit with a messed up voice. Listen to this Instagram reel from the episode where he's singing.
Dude, Jamie?
People can talk in there. Matt, bless us.
You want to hear me? Only the echoes of my mind. Dude, I'm going to lose my voice.
Let's go, Matt.
People stopping staring. I can't see their faces.
What are you doing?
Only the shadows of their eyes. I'm done.
You changed since you kissed that dog, didn't you? Singing?
I'm a singer.
So while it's not fully showcasing his voice, you can tell he has a legit singing voice. He did talk about some of the singing on stage that he has done, and people actually liked it. Musicians are reacting to this, and everyone's impressed with his not fully showcased skill. Matt is actually a decent singer. It was really funny to see him do this on Rogan and see Shane and Rogan make fun of him, but they couldn't say anything bad about his singing because he's actually not that bad. Something else that's really interesting about Matt's musical skills is we see him killing at the New Year's Eve Kill Tony. So what happened was a comedian tried to save his act by saying he was good at playing guitar. A lot of guys on Kill Tony do this as a last thing to showcase like maybe another talent, kind of like a talent show. So Tony Hinchcliffe had his guitarist hand over the electric guitar. The comedian tried to play something with the band and it really wasn't that great. But when he handed the guitar back, Matt grabbed it and surprised everybody, including Shane. Matt started shredding on the electric guitar. No one was expecting to hear what Matt laid down, but the dude tore it up. Is Matt more than a comedian? I personally think so. So this podcast started recently popping up in my algorithm. It's hard to tell if it's an old or a new podcast, but it's Matt and some other guy talking about manhood. It's called Romas, R-O-M-A-S. It's not bad for background noise, but it's kind of hard to follow because it's over Zoom. I think that it might have taken place over the pandemic and they're just re-uploading old episodes. I'm not too sure, but I just found it recently. A lot of the episodes only have like 1K views or something. I just think it's funny because Matt is the host of Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast, and now we find him on a podcast that nobody knows about. But let me know if you knew about Matt's actual secret podcast and what you think about it. I'm sure it's helpful to the right person. It's just hard for me to watch Zoom calls. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. There's not a lot of people on here making real news. So thanks for watching. You guys are Super Shrek 1. I love you, dogs. See ya.